James Ernest of the Grueling Truth Radio Network here with Gabe York. Gabe is part of the Erie BayHawks. Gabe, tell us a little bit about the BayHawks.
I came here in November. I was out in Italy for about 4.5 months before I came over, and Coach Peterson brought me in the first day and just told me what the BayHawks were about, and that they were, trying to get on the right track, and we had the personnel to do so, and he thought I would be a good fit for the team. So going through that, I didn't get to go through the training camp, but all the guys said it was one of the craziest training camps they have ever gone through. So I'm kind of glad I missed that. But yeah, it's been nothing but a great experience for me. I think the Erie BayHawks have definitely given me a chance to up my stock for any chances I have of making it to the NBA. I have summer league lined up already for next season, so it's definitely been a pleasure playing with the BayHawks.
Nice. Were you around for the what is that? The showcase? I think that's what it's called.
I was at the D-League showcase.
How'd that go? That seems like, is it individual or is it more like a bunch of team games?
Well, it's all team games, but there's NBA scouts and NBA GMs who all go and watch and see what the players are doing, or what players they want to look at, and see what players they weren't looking at that actually stood out to them while they were looking at a certain other player. And for me personally, at the showcase, I played really well, and my agent had called me and was really excited about my play, just because he said he had a couple phone calls of interest and stuff. So it's definitely a place where you can up your stock as well.
So tell us about your early days in Orange Lutheran High School. What was that like? How was it?
Wow, yeah, taking me back. Orange Lutheran, it was a great experience. It took myself and my mom an hour and a half actually to get there in the morning because of LA traffic. So, but when I got there, it was a great experience. My head coach, Chris Nordstrom, was a great fit for me personally, and that's why I chose Orange Lutheran in the first place. And yeah, even to this day, I have a great relationship with him, and try and keep in contact with some of those guys. It was always a sunny day. It was never below 75 degrees. So being here in Erie has definitely been a change for me.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I was going to say, yeah, Erie's known not exactly for sunny or warm or any of those type of things there, yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
So what was your high school postseasons like, tournaments, that kind of thing?
Say it one more time?
What was high school's tournaments and postseason like?
It was different. It was where you played most of the better high school teams, and the competition was a lot better as well. So it was definitely like you were not, I don't want to say in college yet, but it was definitely above high school level basketball that you were playing in. So I was in the Trinity League, which is one of the best leagues in California. Had Mater Dei in there, who we played twice a year in Santa Margarita, and where Klay Thompson went. So it was a really good league. So it definitely got me ready for college as well.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. I mean, it's not like you said, it's not that it was college, but they're not the traditional high school kid who, after they are done in high school, they go on to regular jobs and that kind of thing. The accountant, the lawyer who look back and say, "Oh, I used to play basketball." No, these guys are guys who are definitely going to go on to the next level and play in college and probably in the pros. So I see what you're saying there. Just a tougher level of competition.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So why Arizona? Why the Wildcats?
I chose Arizona just because, UCLA had already had Jordan Adams, who committed there earlier in the year, so they had their guard sets already and Arizona was kind of like the best basketball school that was closest to home. That was one of the biggest reasons as well. But Sean Miller definitely just was a lot different than other coaches who I had talked to through the recruitment process. So that stood out. And also just my family, my mom actually lives in Tucson, Arizona now, and is probably going to stay there. She moved when I first went to college out there. So it was a great experience to be at Arizona, but it was also just the right fit for my mom and me and my grandparents. It was just a good school to be at.
So how did your game change and evolve from Orange Lutheran to Arizona?
Well, Coach Miller really pressed upon me to just be a shooter. He didn't really want me to, drive to the basket or do those things. You had Nick Johnson, who was more of a slasher. You had Kevin Parent, who was a good three-point shooter, but he was also a slasher. Solomon Hill, who was more of an inside guy. And his whole pitch to me was just be the best shooter you can be, because that's what our team needs. So going from having the ball in my hand, doing the crossovers and getting to the lane and stuff, that kind of changed right when I got to Arizona. And so I wanted to do what was best for the team. And so that's kind of where the shooting came from. I just spent hours in the gym just getting shots up and perfecting my shot. And then started shooting further and further back once I started making shots from, at the college three-point line and stuff. So
it's smart. You build up your comfort level and just progressed as your career progressed. Makes sense.
Exactly, yeah. So, and that's what I did. I did what the team needed of me, and played the role. And we got to 2 Elite Eights. Fell to Wisconsin twice. It was. And my senior year, I had the best senior weekend someone could ask for. So it all came around.
So tell us about the 2 different Elite Eights. Any special moments from them? Any, obviously, your hatred of Wisconsin and cheese. So, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I definitely hate Wisconsin basketball. Shouldn't be too harsh of a statement to say. It was a great experience. When you get on the bus and you get the police escorts on the street, and everyone has to stop and wait, and everyone's looking at the bus and seeing what's going on, and then you get into the arena, you have probably 30,000 people there in Staples Center watching you. It's a crazy experience.
Let's be honest, just outright you don't like the Big Ten, because the year before that wasn't, I think it was Ohio State in the Sweet 16.
We played Ohio State my freshman year at Staples Center and lost by 2. Quentin Ross hit a three-point shot, I think with 2 seconds left.
So, tell us about some of your teammates. Any funny stories? Anything the fans might not know about them?
I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. I think teammate-wise, I'd probably say you have Rondé Hollis Jefferson, who's probably one of the funniest dudes I know, and he also thinks he's a musician, and he thinks he can sing and all these things. I don't know if people have seen him on Twitter, Instagram. He's done a couple songs trying to act like he can sing. It sounds horrible, but that's my guy. I still talk to him all the time. TJ McConnell, who is playing with the Philadelphia 76ers. That's a character as well. He's someone who you'll never expect his personality to match who he is. So a lot of great guys, a lot of great memories.
So who would you say is and I know, of course, you don't want to pick just one, because there are a lot of great players you play with, but who would you say are some of the best players that you played with?
TJ McConnell, for one, he was unbelievable, and it wasn't a surprise to a lot of the people at Arizona or in the Pac-12 when he got picked up by the Sixers. We knew he was going to make a team. He's one of the best point guards I've ever played with. Also, I'd probably say Nick. I think Nick was a great college basketball player. Did amazing on both ends of the basketball court. Changed the game multiple times on both ends of the basketball court as well. So just being able to see those two guys and learn from those two guys, that was also very important when in choosing what school I was going to.
So, tell us about the fans in Arizona. I mean, how crazy, how rabid of fans are they? Because, I mean, shoot, I'm here in Kentucky, so of course I know about Wildcat fans being very passionate. Is it the same way out there in Arizona?
Yeah, it's a little bit different though. You know, ours is more, we have season ticket holders who have had tickets for 30, 40 years, and they're, more elderly people, and we have one section which is for the students, and that section gets real crazy. But for the most part, it's just a lot of historic people in there just who have seen McHale grow over the last 30 or 40 years.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You have experience at either down at UK or with UC. Same thing. Like you'll have a bunch of the older alumni, that kind of thing, and unfortunately, sometimes they sit on their hands. It seems like during games, and then you have the student section, which is just going nuts, just rabid craziness. So yeah, I see what you're saying there.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And then to the other extreme, the newer teams like Northern Kentucky University, their student section is still growing and kind of trying to figure out how to be college basketball fans, where, their regular fans at least have been to some games, but their college fans are like, not really sure. Like they end up holding up the faces backwards, those the big faces they hold up at the for the free throws.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll have them backwards or upside down, and I'm like going, oh my gosh, you guys, you need to take a class on how to be a basketball fan, or they're doing the wave and they're doing it wrong, and I'm like, wow.
Exactly, yeah.
It happens. So, shoot, what's the best venue to go to in the tournament? What did you like, where did you like going when you were in the tournament?
To be honest, just because I'm from Los Angeles, I thought playing and being able to, make shots and it being an important basketball game, playing in the Staples Center was probably one of the best memories I can think of. That was probably one of the best venues. And then obviously Madison Square Garden when we beat Duke in the NIT tournament. That was also one of probably the best venues. Those bright lights in Madison Square Garden are definitely bright.
Very true. I mean, yeah, those are two of the most historic basketball arenas in the world. And speaking about in the world, tell us about Italy. What was that like over there?
Oh, wow. I was in a small town called Cremona, about an hour away from Milan, about 2 hours away from Florence. But it was a great experience. Basketball-wise, didn't really work out for me. The coach and I didn't really see eye to eye, and it was, I didn't burn any bridges, but it was time for me to get out of there. It wasn't the right fit for me personally, but the living situation was amazing. I got to wake up and hear the people play the Italian music every morning, and it was beautiful outside every day, and it was a change, something that I've obviously never been a part of. That was my first time overseas, so it was definitely a blessing to be able to be out there for 4 or 5 months.
So what was the food like over there? Was it pretty good, or?
Oh, wow, yeah. You talk about you like pizza from somewhere around here, you need to go over there. Pizza is kind of pizza you can think of, and it's everywhere you go, it's the best pizza you've ever had.
Nice.
And then obviously the pasta as well, too. They, I forget, I don't even honestly know the name of the pasta, but it was a special dish from a restaurant out there, and it was unbelievable. I probably got that 3 or 4 times a week sometimes.
Sounds pretty darn good over there, yeah.
Yeah.
So was the coach American or was the coach foreign?
Well, he was foreign. Yeah, he was coach for, I think, 20 or 30 years over there. And I think that was his second or third year with this organization. So he was fairly new to the organization as well. And they had made it to the playoffs the year before, and he had a pretty good squad. Coming in this season, it's just the coach and some of the guys. We had different playing styles in the way he wanted to play, and it was kind of hurting us in the beginning.
I know what you mean, yes, because sometimes the coaches are more obsessed with their philosophy than actually coaching to the talent they have on the team. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you got a team that's, great at shooting, let them shoot. Stop trying to crown the ball inside or vice versa. So, yeah, I know what you mean.
Exactly, yeah. That was exactly.
Yeah, so, I mean, and one of those other things is, foreign teams, it's hard. Sometimes it takes a while to find the right one for you. Like, the guest I had the other night was Andre Riddick from, used to play at UK and then was overseas for, I want to say 16 years or something crazy like that, at least 12. And, the majority of them, like the first 5 or 6, he ended up going from team to team to team. But then he found this one in, Italy, and they were together for 10 or 12 seasons just with that one team. So it's just all about finding the right fit. So I know what you mean there.
Yeah.
So tell us about your time in the Summer League.
Summer League was great. I got to go with the Charlotte Hornets. I went to Charlotte a week and a half before Summer League in Orlando and worked out there. I had a nice little hotel that they put me in. And, that was my, obviously, first real taste of what the NBA was like. So that was a crazy experience to be a part of. And went through training camp before Summer League and earned a starting spot. And Coach Newman was, a great coach. Taught me a lot about what he expected from point guards and the kind of people he played with.
Obviously, if you go to Disney World, everybody wants to know if you met Mickey Mouse. So since you went to the Charlotte Hornets, you can probably guess who I'm going to ask about you meeting. Did you get to meet him?
Yeah. No, I actually didn't. That's one of the one things I didn't get to do. He didn't even go to Summer League. I saw Larry Bird there. But
that's still pretty
Mike
cool.
Didn't, Mike didn't want to show up to anything, so that was a bummer.
Yeah.
But everything else was pretty cool.
Sounds nice. Yeah, shoot, that's about the only bad thing you can say about it. That's still pretty good, pretty darn good. Yeah. So we definitely appreciate you taking your time coming on our show, talking about the glory days with the Arizona Wildcats. And before you go, we talked about it before starting the show. What's your thoughts on this year's team?
This year's Arizona team?
Arizona team. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we talked about so many teams. You're right. It's but this year's Arizona team. Yep.
I'm really excited about them. They have a big game against Xavier tonight at 10 p.m. I think out here. So I'm looking forward to watching that game. Hopefully they get this win. They get on to the Elite Eight. I'm really excited about this year's team. I know a lot of people who have them in their Final Four. And I think it'll be good for Coach Miller to finally get a Final Four on his belt.
I agree with you. They were one of those teams that you could have even made the argument that maybe they should have been a number 1 seed in one of the other brackets, but it seems to have worked out. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I called it before, and I said we were going to get the 2 seed in the West. I had already known, which was awesome just because of, like you said, it was a great route to get to a Final Four.